Understanding character arcs of the Brutalist, starting with A24, which is increasing its power of filmmaking after every project release. In this one, Adrian Brody stars as a Jewish Holocaust survivor who immigrates to America, and the movie starts with a glimpse of Zofia, who is niece of Lazlo. That's the name of his character. We get to hear a monologue from Elizabeth, his wife, which is basically a letter which is being read in the mind of Lazlo, but the voice is of his wife. Letter has special mention of his niece, grown fuller but even lonelier since he last saw her, which we will find out in the further movie that she doesn't like to speak much. Now going back, as soon as the monologue ends, we get to see Statue of Liberty. And the music which plays in the background, it feels so real, all the trumpets, as if it's right in front of us. After arriving, Lazlo's Hungarian friend takes him to have some fun. But here comes one of the main instincts of his character of not wanting to cheat his wife. After some time skip, politely she even asks if he prefers men. But Lazlo says it's not for me. He has had problem of expression and is guy who accepts his fate and moves on rather than blaming it. In farewell to his friend, the bus journey starts with the title sequence, which is unique till date, and it is a great thing that they tried something new. As soon as the bus journey ends, we see Attila, his cousin. He informs Lazlo that his wife has arrived, which makes him happy, and poor Stoll starts crying there. And they both arrive to Miller and Sons furniture shop. It's Attila's shop, which he named to look like a generational family business among locals, as he was already struggling selling furniture. Audrey takes her entrance. Audrey is wife of Attila, but she also tells Attila has been in America before TVs were a thing, and she does not believe he has any American vibe till now. Audrey is a fine character with her own secret motives and tantrums. Also, she is the first one to point out nose wound which Lazlo got by crashing into a tree. Attila talks about putting him on payroll from next month, which he appreciated deeply. After reading letter from his wife, it's revealed Attila was linked between both of them as he had a staple address where letters can go back and forth. Lazlo goes to a local vendor where all the immigrants gather for food, where he meets an American father with his toddler. Before the conversation even starts properly, announcement happens from that vendor that the food is over, and of course the father is pissed off and starts asking for at least something for his son. But Lazlo helps in saying he will take their portions next morning cause he won't sleep and will stand in line early morning. Congested bus scene starts, and it clearly signifies enigma which started for Lazlo as he was witnessing a whole different side of society among people traveling in bus wearing all fancy and classy clothes as compared to other immigrants he saw last night. Then some jump cuts leading to his shaking hand holding his napkin, and it falls off because he was thinking about his wife and his niece, which was stuck at Austrian boundary, which we see through his talk to the priest of the church he visits to pray. Radio montage starts with government announcing a Jewish state and all construction of furniture in flying sparks. Lazlo smoking with a beautiful shot while his inner architect takes the wheel and he starts designing on a canvas and makes a prototype furniture. After showing it to Audrey, she seems skeptical about it, and we get the tricycle joke from Audrey, and Lazlo asks what is that, and she responds it's a bike for kids. Cut to he practicing Peter Piper tongue twister while shaving, trying to improve his English accent. Then he meets with Attila, who introduces him to Harry Van Buren, a young rich man wearing a suit who gives them a job of renovating his father's study as a surprise for him. Then he takes both brothers to his mansion. Immediately entering, Lazlo acknowledges Harry's father keeping blinds in room to protect books from sunlight, as it was a south-facing one, and bluffs with a quite improved English as compared to just a few minutes ago, thanks to Peter Piper. Closing the deal in $2,000 and to be completed by Thursday, Attila throws a house party at his house. After all three get super drunk, he forces Lazlo to dance with Audrey, which she doesn't seem interested at first, but they do it anyways. Then Lazlo releasing in bathtub, which pisses off Audrey, but she doesn't say much at that moment. Both have a conversation where Audrey says, with your skills you can get a better job than this, to which Lazlo replies he does not want to work for someone. And we cut to workers working on library. Lazlo designed a spectacle sitting table in center of the room, never seen by anyone at that time, and room gets renovated Slowly, but workers accidentally stop roof glass while removing it from the top. Lazlo also condemns this type of work ethic and hates that he damaged the property. Few days after a fine evening, suddenly father of Harry named Harrison arrives bringing his sick mother home. And he gets mad at both brothers cause he saw a strange Negro man around his property who scared her mom. Also he hated surprises and assumed they were some random renovators who ruined his library. Throwing both out, cut to Attila fighting with Lazlo saying he did not got paid a penny cause Harry threatened him they could have sued him but they didn't do. Also admitting Audrey told him about his misbehavior and he broke that because Attila did not find important to ask his side of the accusation. Also, he mentioned an incident from their childhood where Lazlo may have flirted with Attila's love interest, then tells him to leave as soon as he finds somewhere else to go. Beard look is what comes next in the frame from a refugee center. Lazlo wakes up with the alarm and tries to wake up Gordon, the same father which we saw early in the line for food with his son. Lazlo is addicted to stuff gets revealed with Gordon finding out same as audience, as he found out a way to distract from his miseries. On top of Crane, he argues he does not like begging, as sister told her to attend service for collecting donations on Sundays. Another character ideology which he won't ask for anything, he already proved it with Attila staying happy even in a small storage closet. A car arrives at the scene and we see Harrison back to talk with Lazlo and ask for a coffee, to which he says he has to work for another 2 hours. But Harrison says, never mind, I will talk with your manager. Both start having a conversation in a restaurant where Harrison agrees he was a bit frustrated due to his mother's demise, but also he liked his design of library and researched about Lazlo and he found out he was a well-renowned architect from Budapest, giving him some photographs of his early projects which makes Lazlo emotionally nostalgic and polite. And politely he even asks if he can get to keep them, which Harrison agrees. Also mentioning he did not knew his son had not paid them, demeaning him, which signifies type of father-son relationship millionaire had, and he invites Lazlo to his party. After going to a club at night, then to another theater, he falls asleep. He greets a cat early morning. The driver is waiting there to take him to Van Buren family's mansion. Then we see a close-up shot of his happy face enjoying wind from car's window. It seemed like a kid sitting first time in a car and having fun. Then wears a jacket provided by driver and enters the party. Harrison greets him immediately and invites him to his dinner table. Then after introducing him as an architect among his friends, one of them invites him to his office to talk about bringing his wife and his niece to America under a special law passed recently by the government. The dinner is completed and Harrison and Lazlo sits on a different table. Following to which Harrison starts telling a story where her mother's parents reached him out only with the purpose to get some money, which made him sad. Also he gave them $25,000 check but does not sign intentionally. He wanted to see their reaction. Their grandparents started crying and then finally he gave them $500 and asked them to never bother his mother again. Harrison, with his interesting ideals and with a dominating nature, does not waste money nor donate them easily. Instead likes to keep it to himself, which his son has similar characteristic but does not like to ask his father for every decision he takes. Harrison takes everyone to see a hill near his house and announcing he will be creating a multifunctional infrastructure including a church in memory of a late mother, and Mr. Toth will be designing it and handling the project as the leading architect. Again, Lazlo is filled with happiness and appreciation towards him, as Harrison also invited him that he can stay in their guest house until the completion of project. After getting requirements from Harrison and dealing with Harry about the budget and a communal issue, he and Gordon start surveying on the hill. Lazlo brings Gordon as his friend colleague to this project too, as he wanted to help him with all his capability, as he had already witnessed the discrimination that was happening with immigrants. Following some days, he makes a beautiful architectural model of community center, according to his vision, and demonstrates to Harrison and other co-workers, which Harrison loves, Also, he shows the cross illumination he created on the top. Down to the community meeting, Lazlo clearly states people may not like him due to his background as an immigrant but will surely respect the traditions while building the center. Fast forwarding another letter from Elizabeth with montage on work has started of excavation at sites. Metal is being made, concluding in intermission. It seems a quite uncommon thing in Hollywood film, but we get a 1 minute timer on photograph of Lazlo's marriage. Leads to railway station where Maggie, the twin sister of Harry, accompanies him to receive his wife and niece. Lazlo gets in shock, seeing Elizabeth in a wheelchair, while she says she did not wanted him to worry about, and Sophia has been taking good care of her, stating she even dyed her hair for him. Both shivering in utmost joy, greets happily, then meeting with Sophia. She doesn't speak much. At night at dinner table, Elizabeth thanks Harrison for taking care of Lazlo, which response and writing reveals an important story point. He says he is void of talent, like Mr. Thoth, and he is incredibly envious of individuals like him. Judging him homosexual would be too early at this point, but we again got a hint of him seeing Lazlo as a romantic interest till now, which will conclude in further scenes. With his egoistic personality, he immediately demeans Lazlo's accent, saying that even after staying in America for 5 years, and compares him to Shu Shiner, which hurts all three of them. As soon as the dinner ends, night scene starts by Lazlo talking with Sofia about his sister and how beautiful she looks just like her mother. Then in a moonlight lit scene, both wife and husband are talking in Hungarian and Elizabeth clearly states she hated the insult and is he angry about she being temporarily disabled and was he angry about she being temporarily disabled. And she tries to get intimate but he is scared and fears to hurt her even if he did. She says, I know what you have done, Lazlo. Breaks heart of not only Lazlo but also the audience as we are witnesses of him being loyal in memory of her. Even it was quite uncertain would she ever be able to come to America. One of the most intense scenes starts from the movie. Again heartbreaking to see as from Elizabeth's perspective, she is explaining that even if Lazlo got intimate with another woman, she was always there with him mentally on every night. And from Lazlo's perspective, he is hurt that no one cares about his say. First his cousin, then his wife is also not hearing his truth that he did not engage in anything. Both are shattered from the war that made them leave their homeland. Elizabeth expressing we can start again and forget what has happened. And Lazlo starts crying, he cannot hear it anymore. I don't know what was to choose, but it was intense AF. Next morning, Harrison takes Elizabeth to town as an interview was arranged for her to get a job as she is well educated herself. So she with Zofia travels there. On the other side, Lazlo has his own disputes with fellow workers about excavation and offers he can even give his paycheck if they are low on budget but refuses to compromise on design of high ceiling. Then comes Harry talking rubbish about Zofia that he is trying to communicate with her but she ain't responding much, which may be kind of first woman he met in his life who is not impressed by him or does not give a F about him. Lazlo's anger rises but he controls it, but his expressions are more worth than his words. Then an unfortunate incident halts the construction work and he starts throwing things as all he wanted was to complete the production which currently paused. Few years passed. Zofia is pregnant and we see a family dinner conversation about Zofia's husband explaining they need to move to Jerusalem to their parents' hometown, which both Lazlo and Elizabeth agrees but Elizabeth wanted to help Zofia deliver her child. So she even invites both of them but both refused as they had their jobs in America. Harrison offers Lazlo to resume and complete his work after the matter is cooled down. Excites Lazlo but Elizabeth says that everyone is leaving her and she will feel alone there. Lazlo gives her warmth that this will be the last time he is away from her. Few days later, Harrison and Lazlo goes to a marble mining site where unfortunately Harrison lost his control and forces Lazlo after being jealous seeing him ditching a woman during a dance. After that particular point in story, Lazlo suffers a quiet change in him. Anger becomes more evident among his wife and Gordon and fellow workers because he won't tell anyone that can compromise his project and keeps the sorrow digged inside him. After reaching back to the community center, we see shots of huge corridors and high ceilings and Lazlo finding himself in the loneliness of the structure. Scolds a worker guy playing with bamboos that he can cause safety issues. His wife points out he is not the same and changed a lot. Bit of a conversations between both of them in a car leads to him admitting that people here hate him, meaning locals are hating immigrants and seeing them as nothing more than slaves. He is sick of everyone and wants to finish once this project is done. And when topic comes out about Antilla, he also confesses what Antilla told him about his wife, to which Elizabeth assures she knows he can't do any of it. Midnights, he starts having a pain attack. Lazlo, as he was addicted and was high at that moment, gives her a syringe too. Early morning, due to overdose, he had to get her to hospital. After she is fine, Elizabeth goes to Van Buren mansion and tells the table everything Harrison did with his husband, to which Harrison runs off, Harry manhandling her to throw her out of the house, but Maggie helps her getting on her feet, and Harrison farewells his soul in his own community center. We get to see an art exhibition held for Lazlo Toth for his accomplishment in the architectural industry. Zofia takes old Lazlo in his wheelchair and the speaker accompanies them and gives a speech written by Zofia stating struggles Lazlo and Elizabeth had to go through, but still the boat inspired her to live her life. Also, as Elizabeth has passed out, but Lazlo still remembers her every moment. Movie ends and it can be perceived as the struggling life of an immigrant finding his livelihood in a different country, trying to learn the new culture and still be polite and never complain about anything. Sound design, cinematically, acting wise, it is a must watch movie from 2024, also for the fanboys of A24. Thanks for watching till now. Let me know your views in the comment section.